Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Troika Batman. Let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, 22 moving parts, McFarlane Toys, ages 12 plus. DC Multiverse Batman. Here he is in the package. It looks like we have a total of 4 interchangeable hands and a Batarang, collector's card, and display stand. One side of the package, Batman from Batman Troika. Other side, Batman. At the bottom, there's his barcode if that helps. And on the back, here he is, posed up from the Troika comics. So with no further ado, let's open him up. So here's a look at the Troika comic set. There are 5 comics in front of you, but it's actually 4 comics. We have Batman number 515, a couple cover variants. Batman Shadow of the Bat number 35 is part 2. Detective Comics 682 is part 3. And Robin 14 is part 4. A crossover between 4 different comic series. Alright, now that we've got this figure out of the package, here he is with all the accessories laid out. We have a display stand, a collector's card, 4 interchangeable hands, and a Batarang. Before I take a look at all that, let's talk about and check out this figure. So this is Batman from Batman Troika, a 4-part story arc that goes between several different comic series. This takes place shortly after Knightfall. Batman had defeated Azrael. He left for a little while, leaving Nightwing in charge, then he came back. He has an upgraded suit, an upgraded Batmobile. The suit has semi-armored, kind of like Kevlar, kind of like the 89 suit. In this book, he's fighting the KG Beast, Asp, and Dark Rider. Troika in Russian has a few different meanings, but they're all based around the number 3, and we have a group of 3 supervillains that Batman fights. This guy is done on the Hush body, so let's take a closer look. Start with his head here. He's got those ridiculously long ears. Straight Kelly Jones art. Kind of makes me think of Legends of the Dark Knight. The head and neck is one solid piece. He is totally Kelly Jones Batman. I mean, look at the mouth, the exaggerated nose. Very, very cool. He's got a completely black outfit. It is on the Hush body, which, I don't know if it's quite the perfect one for this, but it looks damn good. He's got the yellow oval around the bat symbol, capsule utility belt, long exaggerated fins on the forearms, double jointed elbows, double jointed knees, even fins coming off the boots there. He's got a cloth soft goods cape, and this one does have bendy wire in it. As you can see, different various posing purposes. It's a nice figure, stylized, just like Kelly Jones art. They more or less achieved what they were going for. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. And those ears. You can totally see the mouth and how exaggerated the nose is. Kelly Jones's stylized Batman art. And then, here's the figure, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out his accessories, starting off with the boring stuff. Here's his display stand. Typical McFarlane display stand we've seen plenty of times before. They're putting the classic DC logo on there now. And then we have his collector's card. As you can see, it's a replica of the cover of Batman Troika number 1. Batman from Batman Troika. On the back, there is a description. If you want to read that, pause now. And now for his hands. He has a total of 4 hands, 2 left hands, and 2 right hands. And it's always bothered me about these hands. We have one pair that has that sort of textured glove look, and then another pair that's totally smooth. I feel like they messed that up way back in Batman Year 2, and they've just gone with it ever since then. Because really, whether his hands are in fist mode or open, he's going to be wearing the same gloves, so that inconsistency has always bothered me. Here he is with the first pair of hands. His right hand is a gripping hand, and his left hand is a fist. And here's his second pair of hands. This is a pair of open hands. They look like they could be some grabbing, choking, or throwing hands. Now we have his Batarang. It's a large, oversized, thick Batarang. McFarlane tends to release some other accessories oversized, and this is no exception. Here's Batman holding and getting ready to throw that Batarang. Now let's take a look at his cape. He has a cloth soft goods cape with a bendy wire on either side. It's kind of shiny on the back, a little bit more dull on the inside. When stretched out, comes out about that far. Looks pretty cool. Could be sort of a gliding cape. And it has a bendy wire. You can go up. You can sort of You have his arm up, holding the cape, maybe even sort of draping it in his hand. I like to have the cape sort of flowing in the wind. An easy way to do that is take your finger, just wrap the bendy wire around your finger, then wrap it back down, and back up again. Make the other side match, and you've got kind of a quick makeshift cape flowing in the wind. And tell you the truth, it doesn't look half bad. I can spend a little time making it better, but pretty quick, easy, and good as is. Now I want to check out the reuse differences and similarities between this Troika Batman and the Three Jokers Batman. They utilized the Year 2 Hush and Three Jokers body, and I thought the best comparison would be this Three Jokers Batman. So let's take a closer look. Starting with their heads, obviously totally different. Then the cape or cowl piece, also different. This guy has a sort of rubber plastic cape. This guy has a plastic little ring at the top, and then a cloth soft goods cape. Torso and stomach, exactly the same. The bicep part of the arms looks to be the same, but with a different forearm, same hands. The diaper piece is the same with a different belt on the top, and then the legs, looks like the top part of the knees is the same, and the bottom part is obviously different with the spikes there and the boots, and the feet are also different. Although his color scheme is closer to this version of the Three Jokers Batman, here are all the McFarlane DC Multiverse figures that utilize the Three Jokers Year 2 and Hush Batman base body. I count a total of 26 of them, and I actually can't think of any more on the horizon. It's a pretty nice body. Personally, I like the Knightfall body the best, but I feel like the Knightfall body is about 0.2 inches too short, and the Hush Batman body is about 0.2 inches too tall. But of course, that really all just depends on which different McFarlane figures you have next to them. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing about 7.3, maybe 7.4 inches tall, which can translate to about 18.5 centimeters. And if you go to the top of the ears, about 8.2 inches tall. And for his articulation, starting with his head, and I don't like when they make the head and neck one solid piece. Makes the head swapping with other figures nearly impossible. The head can rotate side to side. You can hear how tight it is. You can look up about that far, down quite a bit. You can tilt his head from one side to the other. Shoulders on a ball joint, goes up more than 90 degrees. Up, down, around. He's got this butterfly ring between his shoulder and chest. Increase the range of motion and cover the gap that would be there. Bicep cut. Double jointed elbows. His wrists can rotate and hinged as well. Ball joint his torso. Rotate around, forward and back. Another one his waist. Rotate around, forward and back. Between the two, pretty good range of motion. Legs complete as the splits. McFarlane style hip joints. Rotation is pretty good on him. Legs go forward, about that far, back not much. Double jointed knees, and his ankle, forward and back, rotate, tilt, rock, and toe articulation. Here's a look at this Troika Batman on a rooftop of Gotham City, overlooking, protecting it, and a closer look at this Batman. My word, those ears. And here he is, holding a batarang on that same rooftop. Now let's check him out. Next to some other action figures, starting off with some other KG Beast figures. That was the main villain in Troika. Here's the Troika Batman, next to the Mezco version of the KG Beast. Then, next to the Mattel DC Multiverse version. And now, with a custom version of the classic look of KG Beast. Here's Batman, next to all of my KG Beast figures by Mezco, Mattel, and a custom. I would love it if McFarlane would make a multiverse version of the KG Beast. Here's his Batman, next to KG Beast in civilian attire, Anton Knightfall. Now let's check him out, next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to the rest of his wave. We have the Luke Fox Batwing, Troika Batman, and the Kenner Homage Azrael. Here's his Batman, next to the most recent wave of Collector's Edition figures. both the regular and Platinum Chase variants of Metron and Kite Man, and then Dark Star and Dark Archer. And here he is, next to those recent Digital Wave, Monarch, No Man's Land Batman, Spoiler, and Disco Nightwing. Then, with the most recent wave of Page Punchers, we have the Golden Age Wonder Woman and Jacketless Superboy. And now, with the Hush and James Gunn Ross exclusive Superman figures, here's his Batman, next to some McFarlane cover recreations. We have the Kingdom Come Superman, Dark Knight Returns Batman, and the infamous stolen Killing Joke Joker. And here he is, next to the Dark Knight's Metal, Merciless, and the Batman Who Laughs 2-pack. Then, with the green and yellow Rainbow Batman figures. And now, with the Nightmare Arkham City Batman, Jokerized Dick Grayson Robin, and Blacklight Etrigan the Demon. And finally, with the Superman vs. Godzilla 2-pack. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in, both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane toy, they are typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work way smaller, and I'm going to include as many Batman figures as I can during these comparisons. Here he is, next to several different McFarlane DC Multiverse Batman figures, and now, with some Jack-specific wrestling figures, and Diamond Select toys. Here's Batman, next to a bottle of headache medicine, and here he is, with some DC Direct and NECA Batman figures, then, with both some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures, and now, with some Mezco and Mattel Batman figures, next, with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends, and finally, with some SH Figure Arts and Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, it's a pretty cool Batman figure. I love when they make Batman figures based off the comics. Typically McFarlane usually makes off more modern comics, but I remember getting the Troika comics when I was a kid, right after Knightfall, and that makes the figure that much more special to me. The ears are super long, the face is really stylized. I have mixed feelings on Kelly Jones's art. Sometimes I love it, sometimes I don't like it. Some of the stuff in Troika doesn't look good, some of the stuff looks very good, it just sort of depends. The way he draws Batman is very, very stylized. I think it worked really well for Red Rain, the vampire story. But man, the way he draws Tim Drake and Dick Grayson as Nightwing and Robin are just so ugly in the Troika book. Still, this Batman figure is very cool. And if I've ever seen Kelly Jones art turned into an action figure, this is it. His accessories, a little bit on the weak side of things. At least we have alternate hands, but they have that weird, different kind of gloves on them. And that Batarang that's just far too big. I like his cloth soft goods wired cape. The ears are just cool. There have been no Batman figures with ears that big. They're at least an inch tall. At least damn close. I have mixed feelings on using the Hush Buddy for this. It looks like a damn good figure, but I feel like in the comic, he was a little bit more lean. I think maybe the Knightfall body would work better. And it is right after Knightfall, but it's also supposed to be a big upgrade on the suit. And so, using a new body is actually probably the right thing to do, and a bigger body with a bigger, bulkier, a little bit more armored type of suit. I mean, it's not an armored suit, but it's made of Kevlar. You know what I mean. If I were to rate this figure, torn between 7.5 and an 8, I'm probably going to give it an 8 because I do like this comic, I do like this figure. A couple small things I don't really like, the spikes on the legs, the weird sort of plastic thing around the neck, looks almost like a neck brace. Probably push him down to a 7.5. He's just very, very stylized, and I prefer sort of a more normal looking Batman. I complained about the No Man's Land Batman without the wire in the cape, and that is a very valid complaint, but that figure is just growing more and more on me. Hopefully this one will too. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.